chronic customer. What's wrong?
You mean, aside from the fact that it's finals week and I'm talking to a puppet? I don't know. I've got like a week left to figure out something that I can do for my last video, and I don't know. I don't know what to do.
That is a pickle. Well, perhaps instead of humiliating yourself with a puppet, you could talk about the Met Gala.
Yeah, but like, there's one problem with that.
Oh dear, what is it?
Yeah, the thing with the Met Gala. I don't love it. That's so stupid. This is such a stupid intro. This is so stupid.
Find that work, hey!
Every time she opens her mouth, I pee.
That's my life.
My dad keeps singing Pink Pony Club. You need to call the police.
I think I probably know like 2 straight people.
It's this random twink that works at Google.
Now that I know that you went to fashion school.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Chronic Costuming. I'm your host, the Chronic Costumer. On this channel, we talk all about fashion, design, as well as delving into ways to design sustainably and ethically. I miss pop culture. We also talk about pop culture. I'm sorry, my intro is usually better than this. It's been a really long week. On this channel, we discuss all things... Oh my god. On this channel, we discuss all things fashion, design, and pop culture, as well as delving into ways to design sustainably and ethically. Yes. Nailed it. If any of that is of interest to you, please hit subscribe, join our tiny community, and never miss another episode. So, for those of you who don't know, I started this channel because I'm currently in a podcasting class, and with the end of the year coming up, I have one last video to make. Okay, well, I have one last graded video to make. Whether or not I'll continue this podcast now that my class is over is neither here nor there. We'll discuss that later. But I really was struggling to find a topic for this video. And, you know, then it hit me. I saw all over my feed, all over my For You page, videos about the Met Gala, pictures from the Met Gala. And, you know, as a channel that discusses fashion, clothing, costumes, this would be the perfect topic, right? Yeah, well, the thing about that is, I don't love the Met Gala. Yeah, okay, I know, big shocker.
Red hair and pronouns over here has a problem with the Met Gala, I know.
Okay, look, I love fashion. I think that it's a really underrated art form. I think it's an often very belittled art form and looked very down upon. I love fashion. What I don't love is the blatant classism that comes along with an event like the Met Gala. But Chronic Costumer, I hear you all saying, this was a Met Gala that was all about celebrating and elevating Black voices. Surely you should like that. And to that I say...
Was it though?
So to very briefly quote an article from Michigan Daily, the Met historically perpetuates exclusivity marked by gatekeeping, racism, body trends, and wealth inequality. The fashion industry has made an attempt to address and allow for further accessibility, diversity, and representation with the recent announcement of the 2025 Met Gala theme. This year's exhibit, Superfine Tailoring Black Style. Past dress codes, however, such as 2015's theme, China Through the Looking Glass, which seemingly promoted They made aesthetics a priority. Over appreciation have led to concerns regarding this year's theme, similarly enabling cultural appropriation. Now, okay, look, I'm white. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I have any authority in this conversation. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm the leading authority on what is and is not cultural appropriation of Black style. However, I don't think that things like wearing Rosa Parks' face on your underwear or having a white model wear a do-rag are exactly
great.
Both of these models not being black certainly does not help at all. The New York Times referred to the 2025 Met Gala as being the most politically charged Met Gala in years, but I don't think they're getting the attention that they want to. Looking at the Met Gala, where there wasn't cultural appropriation, there seemed to be a stunning lack of creativity. Many of the models being dressed simply in black fabric, which made myself and a lot of other people wonder if they just simply misunderstood the theme. And look, I don't say any of this to discredit any of the brilliant designers who had their pieces worn at the Met Gala. I'm just trying to make a point that none of this is new. We see it all the time in the entertainment industry. People doing the bare minimum in order to justify or at the very least distract from their problematic or unethical actions. That's just how it works. The Met has been historically criticized for promoting racism and white elitism. So it feels a lot like this year they're saying, don't worry, we'll slap on a label that claims to elevate black voices and then boom, we're fine, right? And the thing about that is, yeah, oftentimes that is all it takes to get consumers back on their side. Sometimes that is really all it takes to get people to go, I guess the Met's not that bad. And look, I'm absolutely not innocent in this. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I haven't watched the Met Gala. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I haven't imagined one of my own pieces walking the red carpet at the Met Gala. I mean, as a designer, we really are taught that that is just like the absolute goal that we should strive for. It's been built up to be the epitome of glamour and success within the fashion industry, and I'm absolutely not immune to that type of commercialization. But the thing is, there's a reason why we see people boycotting events like these. One ticket for the Met Gala is priced at $75,000 and up, and that's not even including what outfit you're going to wear. There are people talking outside. I'm gonna wait. I don't wanna I'm gonna wait. I'll wait for them to stop. It's okay. It's okay, I'll wait. The 2025 Met Gala brought in up to $31 million, which I think is more than's been brought in within the past, 77 years? Yes, 77 years. I had to check my script. I'm right, 77 years. But Chronic Costumer, I hear you saying, isn't that money donated? Why, yes, it is donated. What is it donated to? Metropolitan Museum of Art. The money raised by the Met Gala is donated to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which is also the place where the Met Gala is hosted annually in New York City. You know, the place where the homeless population is up to 350,000. Yeah, that's what the money's donated to. Now listen, I feel the need to reiterate, I love art, I love fashion, I love design. Theater design is quite literally my major. It's what I want to spend my entire life doing. I want to eventually work full-time as a costume and fashion designer. But frankly, the idea of millions of dollars being put into a museum in the very same city where there are thousands of people going without meals or shelter every day, does that not feel a little, I don't know, gross? Does that not make you want to throw up at least a little bit? Does that not feel a little bit dystopian? Does that not at the very least disturb you? At least a little bit. Now look, am I saying that we shouldn't fund the arts? No, absolutely not. And I'm obviously not saying that the Metropolitan Museum of Arts shouldn't be funded. It absolutely should be. Fashion history is important and it should be preserved. Same for all art, really. I've seen online recently within the last Met Gala, a lot of people criticizing people like me who criticize the Met Gala by saying that we don't appreciate art or that we want to defund art. And I've seen a lot of people refer this back to fascism, speaking about how oftentimes within fascist regime, we often see the defunding of art come first. So let me make this 100% crystal clear. None of that is what I'm saying. I'm just saying that hosting an annual event that glamorizes wealth and, you know, obviously excludes people of lower class within a city where the homeless rate is in the thousands Does that not feel a little bit off? It feels just a little bit weird to me that the millions of dollars that are brought in through this event are going to the venue where the event is hosted. It feels a little bit weird to me that those millions of dollars in a city with a population of thousands of homeless people are going into a museum, and only a museum. Does that make sense? Again, I'm not saying that we should abolish the Met Gala. That's not what I'm saying here. I feel like there should be a middle ground, a happy medium somewhere. Contrary to everything I've been saying here, I really do believe that the Met Gala is, potentially a great opportunity for a lot of designers. And I do think that there's a lot of potential there for the Met Gala to celebrate and elevate often marginalized voices, especially within the fashion industry that tends to focus primarily on people that are white, people that are cishet, people of a certain body type, people who are able-bodied. I do think that there is a lot of potential here. Again, I love fashion history. It is important that it's preserved, and I feel the need to keep repeating that because I really don't want my words to be taken out of context. But once again, I do just want to reinstate that, fashion is quite literally what I want to dedicate my life to. And if I ever have the opportunity to visit the Metropolitan Museum of Art, trust that I will be doing that. I've also seen a lot of people online compare the Met Gala to the Hunger Games. I'm not gonna go that far, especially when there are so many other things happening in our current political climate that I think deserve that label far, far more. I don't want anybody watching this video to leave thinking that I hate the Met Gala or anything of that sort. Because again, I do think that the Met Gala has potential, but as it currently stands, the Met Gala is an incredibly flawed event that actively contributes to the wealth disparity in our country right now. And until something is done about that, it's just not an event that I feel I can... It's not an event that I feel that I can, in good conscience, support. Going off script for a minute, but I really do see two large opinions online about the Met, and they're both very aggressive, for a lack of better words. I see, once again, people bringing up Hunger Games as an example, which feels very tone deaf considering our current political climate. Now, look, I don't want to dive too deeply into it, but it is not a secret that many people are currently very scared about the future of America. It's not a secret that there's a lot going on right now that is unfair, that is unjust, that is hurtful. And to say that an event like the Met Gala is comparable to the Hunger Games, but then ignore everything else, it comes across as very ignorant. I've also noticed a lot of people pointing out that the same people that say they have a problem with the Met Gala are also the same people that buy from fast fashion, such as Shein or Temu. And yeah, that's true. That's blatant hypocrisy. But on the other hand, I see a lot of people very angry when you criticize the Met Gala. As I said before, a lot of people will say that you're buying into fascism by not supporting the arts. And again, I just disagree wholeheartedly with that argument. I disagree wholeheartedly with both arguments, actually. I think that both lean towards the extreme when that's unnecessary, especially when I think that people on both sides of the argument can come to a lot of agreements. I think that we all can agree that we want what's best. We all can agree that we do care about these issues and that we do want to find a better solution. And I do briefly want to talk about the Met Gala when it does come to representation of, people outside of the norm of what we see within the fashion industry, because it still has such a long way to go. It still has such a long way to go. I think that we're so easily satisfied as consumers. We see someone of a slightly different body type or of a different race, and we're like, yes, we've reached equality, but no, we haven't. We still see within the industry, not just the Met Gala, but within the industry, we still see a disproportionate size of cishet, thin, white models in comparison to everybody else. In fact, not to make this about me, but to make this about me because it's my channel, I don't believe that we had a single disabled model attend the Met Gala. I don't believe that we saw a single disabled artist designed for the Met Gala. In fact, small shout out to Marissa Adobe. Is that how she pronounces her last name? I actually don't know. Small shout out to Marissa. I love Marissa. For those of you who don't know, she portrayed Nessa Rose in the live action movie of Wicked. I love her. She's fabulous, fantastic. She is, I believe, the first time that we saw Nessa Rose depicted by an actual disabled wheelchair user, which is just incredible, makes me extremely happy. She was not invited to the Met, which is odd.
Why aren't there other disabled people at the Met, and who can I talk to help that happen? Why aren't there a ton of disabled people in the entertainment industry as a whole? Who can I talk to make that happen? Because disabled people have been screaming from the rooftops forever, because again, no one else seems to. I am begging others and non-disabled people to uplift those voices and question those within your spaces, and those more people within power to step it up. If y'all are truly allies, do the work. Help us all get there, because we cannot do this on our own.
I don't believe that I've seen a wheelchair user at the Met. At least not recently. Not within recent years. And it's just so frustrating because disabled voices are so often ignored. Even when we speak about diversity, oftentimes we are left out of that conversation, especially in industries like entertainment and fashion. But disabled people belong in fashion. There are so many models and designers and artists who have such large voices and visions, and they deserve to be heard. I believe that I found a TikTok that describes this very, very well, so I think I'm just going to insert that here really, really quickly.
I'm so disappointed in the Met Gala yet again. Call me Delulu all you want, but I fully fell into the trap of expecting to see Marissa Bodie there this year. Especially after an incredible debut in Wicked, that moment felt like it should have opened doors, so where was she last night? I watched the red carpet, or blue flowery carpet, last night, and once again, I'm searching for disability representation, and there isn't any in the Met. Let's talk about the stairs. I get their tradition, but at what point do we stop pretending they're just iconic and start calling it what it is? Unspoken segregation. And just to be clear, I'm not talking about myself here, I'm no fashion expert. I'm literally just sat on my sofa in my comfy clothes, judging outfits like everyone else. What blows my mind is how many incredibly talented, beyond qualified disabled models and creatives exist. People who have been in this industry for years, and they're still not getting invited to one of the biggest fashion events in the world. Why? Disabled people belong in fashion, point blank. And we've got to stop saying, there's stairs, how would that work? It won't. And that's not the disabled person's fault. That's an infrastructure problem, an accessibility problem. And guess what? That can be changed. So let's change it. I'm gonna say this again for the people in the back. Invite more than one disabled person to your events. We are not just something to check off your diversity checklist. We are a massive, multifaceted community. We are human beings and we deserve to be seen, celebrated, and included. And we belong in fashion. Just maybe not in this outfit with my unbrushed hair though.
So, my opinion on the Met Gala is fairly nuanced. It's not really something that I can see myself sitting down and watching anymore. Not right now, anyways. It's something that I believe has excellent potential, but as it stands, it needs a lot of help. But with all that being said, let me just say this is the last video that I'll be posting for a grade, and I can't promise that I'm going to continue to post here weekly, but I am going to do my best to continue making content. Perhaps I'll post maybe monthly or every 2 weeks instead. I really have enjoyed my experience doing this, and it is something I would like to continue, but it's also really important to me that when I put something out there and it has my name attached to it, it's the highest quality it possibly can be. And frankly, that's just really difficult to do every single week. And I don't want to post things that I'm not proud of. But please trust though that I do still have a lot of topics in mind that I have a lot to say about, and I will continue to post at least until I run out of those ideas. But until then, please remember that that is just my opinion for the day. And I would like to hear from all of you. Please feel free to start a discussion in the comments below. This has been Chronic Costuming. I'm your host, the Chronic Costumer. Till next time, bye. Was that cringe? Did that sound cringe?